So often you've got this dilemma. You're spending well, you hit an age where, let's call it 40, where you know you need to plan for the future, but you don't really want to compromise your lifestyle. And that's okay. So there's still always things you can do. And I'll talk through a recent client example. So a couple, give or take, around 40, kids, early high school, one late primary school, living well. They enjoy life, they live a very social life, bit of travel, lots of stuff with the kids, lots going on. And they're both accelerating their careers as well, which is important. So they wanted to do something. They came to see us because a friend of theirs said they should come and see us. And they were thinking about buying investment property. So they were thinking about what I would call a tactic, which is how am I going to get to retirement? So we bring that back to context. So we say, okay, the best financial decisions are usually made as part of a real financial plan. And a plan is simple. You're at A, B's your goal. What are the strategies and tactics to get there? How do we put that together in a plan? How do we execute? So we know they want to retire. So we show them some property modelling, and it's quite clear they're not going to be able to afford a negatively geared property at the current interest rates. And this was a little while back. So we go, there's other things to do. So firstly, the exact process we go through, get a real clear picture of what they've got. Now their super was okay, but it was unintentional. They'd never given it any attention. It was with someone years ago had given them some insurance advice and they'd roll over their super into one of the big four. I think it was MLC. And it was okay, but it was vanilla. It was not focused. It was not intentional. It was not targeted at their own plan. The other one was an industry super fund. Same thing. It was okay, but it wasn't targeted, wasn't focused. And we can, that's going to be, so one of the strategies, one of the easy strategies that doesn't cost any money is get a better return, get the right risk profile. So above average returns at a high risk profile. And that's going to add 1% to 2% for most people's super accumulation. And that's going to add $1 million or more. In this case, we set a goal of 18 years for their retirement. They weren't in a hurry to retire, they're happy working. They're both going up. We set a strategy of pay rises, allocating half for now, half for later, so we could slowly build their surplus over time without chipping into their current lifestyle. And then we looked at a property strategy at some stage, and that some stage was when they could buy a neutrally geared investment at a property that was at the bottom of what we call the property clock. So property clock is where in any one suburb, any one city, property goes through a bottom of the market, a recovery, it grows fast, then it stagnates. Sometimes it declines by a little bit, then it kind of goes to sleep, and then eventually it wakes up. So for them, we're trying to find a property in a location that's starting to wake up. And we communicate to our clients on this in our monthly video that sits on our website. And yeah, it's just buying strategically at the right time. And also at an interest rate that was lower. So we set this strategy up a while ago, and all of a sudden 2 or 3 interest rates, and we're starting to have properties that might fit the bill. So this is where they can use their equity in their home, which they've got plenty, to then buy a property with no money down, borrow the whole lot, and the rent's going to be enough to go pretty close. The rent and the tax breaks will pretty much be neutral. So instead of when we looked at the property they were thinking about buying when they came to us, it was going to cost them $10,000 to $12,000 a year, and they didn't really want to commit to that with the lifestyle they were living. So now we're in a position where we're looking at properties that'll be cash flow neutral. We've fixed up the super, we've got their insurances right, but we're also on a strategy. They did have a little surplus, so that surplus has been going towards a strategy we call debt recycling, where they're paying extra off the mortgage, which will knock their debt down. Instead of in 25 years, it's going to bring the debt down to 10 to 12 years, but we're also building a share portfolio by borrowing back. So we're recycling, we're paying off bad debt, that's the non-tax deductible mortgage, and we're building deductible debt at the same time and building wealth. So those strategies, we've got the insurance right, and they have a plan they're really confident in that's going to get them there in 18 years. And they don't have to get there straight away. So what I mean by that, we worked backwards from the goal, what they needed to do. And we knew that if they could allocate $2,000 a month over time, they would get there easily, along with the super they were getting. So we started at $1,000 a month, but we're building that 1,000 months to 2,000 over the next 3 years through pay rises, interest rate drops and other things. So that will get them to there. And once they're there, if they maintain that velocity, they'll retire in style, literally a target. Here was about $180,000 a year, which matched what they were spending at the moment. So we didn't have to compromise on lifestyle, but we've got a plan that's rock solid that will get them there. And there'll be ebbs and flows in life along the way, but because we sit down every year and review the goals, where you're at, and the strategies, and always looking for ways to save tax and build wealth, and we know that gets nearly everyone to those goals in the long run.